Okay, so we're going to learn how to complete a table of values using our calculator. So get yours out because you're going to need it. Okay, so here's the problem. Complete the table of values for the given equation, y equals 4x plus 6. And here's the table we're going to fill in. Make note of the equation because we're about to type it into our calculator. Y equals 4x plus 6. So, take your calculator, make sure it's on, and go to the y equals screen right here. In the screen you want to type in the equation we just saw, y equals 4x plus 6. And then we want to take a look at the table. In order to set up the table, you want to go to the table setup. You'll find that right here above the window key. To get to this, you need to hit the second and then the window key to go to table setup. You'll notice how it says table start equals 0. This is where you want your table to begin. The next line down has a little triangle, stands for delta table, and mine is set to 1. Delta table means what do you want the table to increment by? What do you want it to move by? And the independent and dependent are both set to auto. This is the x and the y parts of the table, and we're asking it to automatically generate these values. So if you go back to your y equals screen and you have it typed in correctly, 4x plus 6, we should be able to go to the table and see a completed table of values. To get to table, which is right here on your calculator, you go to second graph. Now our table starts at 0 and you'll see the x is moving by ones as we had asked it to. My first value I needed for my table, let's see, was -5. So I need to scroll, and you can use the up and down arrows to do this, up until you get to -5. Now you could use this method and scroll all the way to all of your answers up and down, or let's look at our table one more time. We want -5, 0, 5, 10, and 15. These are all moving by 5s. So another trick I could do is to go back to the table setup, second window, and change my delta table to 5 since we're moving by 5s. I'm going to start it at -5 since that was the first value I needed. Now when I go to the table, and again that's second graph, I should have exactly the values I need, and I should be able to fill them in. So we've got -5 gives me -14. 0 gives me 6. Oh, I'm not liking this pen. Let me try again. -14, 0, 6. There we go. 5 is 26. 10 is 46. And 15 is 66. So I've completed that table of values. Let's take a look at another example. Say you have to complete this table, and notice how it's going horizontally this time instead of vertically, and this is the equation that's given. Okay, so we're going to go back to the calculator and go back to your y equals and clear out the old equation, and let's type in our new one, which is -9x, make sure to use a negative, not a minus, plus 1. And then let's go to table setup, second window. Notice how this time my values for my table are kind of weird. They're all over the place, and moving by 1s for the table start, even 5s, would not be helpful, especially with a decimal value like this. I'm going to show you another neat trick when your values are kind of all over the map. Down here in the independent and dependent variable settings, if you change independent, right arrow over to ask and hit enter, that's saying you now want it to ask you for the independent variable or the x values. and make sure that you have the dependent still set to auto, which means it will automatically generate the y's that go with those x's. When you have it set to ask for x, and you go to the table feature, second graph, you will see a blank table and a place in the X where it's waiting for you to tell it what values you want it to use. So we can enter our own values in the table, customized to what we are looking for our table of values. So the first one was -12, so I type -12 and I hit enter. And it will automatically give me my value, which is 109. And then I have 0, enter, and that's 1. Next I have that decimal, 44.3, enter, is -397.7. And then lastly, 192, enter, and this one is -1,727. So even with really weird values like that, you can use the table on your calculator to generate whatever you need without actually having to plug these values into this equation one after another and get these values by hand.